Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Esports Wales Weekly, the talk show that I host, which brings you the latest gaming news, esports news, and of course, Esports Wales news. As always, if you do have any questions, make sure to throw them in the chat. They can be aimed at any one member of the panel or all of us all together. Reaper Steve, thank you for the follow.
Yeah,
Just had to get that in there.
It's like, cricket now.
So for our first guest, you could say his PR skills most likely surpass most people in Esports Wales. He's our Chief Community Officer. It is NX/Alex.
Hello, everyone. Been a while since I've been on the podcast here, so been a while since anything. So basically, I just do all. Sorry, I can't speak today. But I'll deal with all the community side and I deal with all the community events and whatnot that goes on within the community. So our Belong meetups and what's coming up at Insomnia Bar meetups. But yeah, I'm happy to be on the show. Looking forward to seeing what comes up and what we got coming up. Well, coming up in the next week as well.
Okay, so for our second guest, as always, it's John. He's back again. I swear he's going to become the main host of this show eventually. He's just going to take my spot.
They're fed up of seeing me. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I do because I don't even know anymore. But yeah, I'm on. I'll chat and yeah, as Jake said, if you guys got any questions, even if it's directed to one of us or whatever, just chuck it in chat and we'll answer them at the end or answer them as we go through.
So, following last week, we had SavePoint Wales on, but we actually have our second guest that is outside of the Esports Wales staff. I'd like you all to give a warm welcome to Reaper Steve.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. Do appreciate it.
Oh, it's great to have you on board.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, I feel. John keeps bumping into me into events and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you should really join the Discord." I'm like, you me, yeah. You know, my Discord is literally a wall of Discords that I've filled with God knows how many different places. So I finally buckled the other day. I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll join the Discord and we'll have a chat." And now I'm here.
You're gonna completely regret that decision. I guarantee it. So, there's not much general gaming news coming out recently. There's not many big games that are being announced yet. We've had COD Modern Warfare, but we've talked about that. There's been talked about anything big recently, so I've really struggled to find any actual proper gaming news.
We've got Gamescom coming up over the next week as well.
Yeah, Gamescom, you're going to see a lot of stuff out probably. So that'll be something we could potentially talk about in a couple of weeks. So instead of talking about game news off the bat, we're going to be talking about esports news. And Alex actually brought a very interesting report to our knowledge from Newzoo. And I don't know whether you want to have a quick chat about that, Alex.
Yeah. So if you guys not aware, Newzoo is they basically do analysis over the gaming industry. So they release annual reports on the growth of the gaming industry and the esports industry as the two primary issues they focus on. And recently they released their 2019 report. So obviously we've got the free one here. And one of the main things that's come out of their this year's report is their predictions for the next few years of esports in terms of revenue growth. So obviously this year is meant to be a big year for esports as the industry is meant to surpass $1 billion in total revenue. But interestingly, one thing I've noticed is if in the next 3 years, we're almost going to be doubling that to what they estimate is just under $1.8 billion in, total revenue across the whole industry, including stuff like merchandising, game publisher fees, investments from like media and advertising. So it feels like it's just the industry is just growing so much. Considering 2 years ago, it was estimated to be just over $500 million, and we're already surpassing, $1 billion. So the industry is absolutely growing phenomenally, and if this is the kind of growth that is quite nice, it's good to see because it shows that there's going to be could be a more or bigger push throughout the whole world globally in terms of esports. But you can also a lot of times you can pinpoint all this growth to specific places such as China because they're putting probably some of the biggest investments into esports in the world.
Well, that's the thing with it. It's like a lot of this stuff. Like you can see the games. I think that's the interesting one. It's the top games for me. But like a lot of this stuff is what the sort of people will invest in it in the countries and stuff to gather things. Because unless you got that, it's like with the Fortnite and stuff. It's only really seen to be like hitting headline press when you get those like you got this tournament which is like and the guys winning like 10 grand, 20 grand, and then that's it in headlines. So if you got like the Fortnite stuff, which is crazy money, but that it's like without the investment, you're not going to see that sort of massive growth. And I think we've got the players here. We've got the sort of people wanting to play. We've got people interest. We've got the interest, but it's a case of just that investment to get the sort of structure built.
I think what people tend to forget about esports as well, coming from like a player's perspective, is that the Pan Asian countries that play a lot of Dota, play a lot of League of Legends, play a lot of StarCraft, they're always going to be huge markets because, like for example, you look at Korea with StarCraft and with Dota and with League of Legends, those players aren't players like we would see each other as playing. They're players like rock stars. Do you know what I mean? They have massive billboard posters with themselves on it. They sell products continuously. They sell cars. They sell everything and anything for for different like companies within Korea. But where that sort of line fades away and turns into like Western Europe and NA is that product companies won't look at people like that in esports because they don't feel there's a market for it, without realizing how much potential it has when you look at the Asian countries. So it's like that mixture of the two, where like we want it to be, I'd love to be able to sit here and say to you, I'm going to play PUBG for Blackout Gaming, or I'm going to play PUBG for EsportsWales, I'm going to play PUBG forever, and then all of a sudden turn it into, I'm going to go speak to Days, the car showroom, about selling cars for them on the internet. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to do something like that, but they'd never look at it in that way. Whereas you look at Korea and they do, and there's no, there needs to be a bit more of a blend between like all sort of esports genres and all sort of esports countries, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's coming. I think it's definitely coming, and I think that's where this, like, looking at this report, I think that's where one of the big things is going to come from, is that where they're saying like in the next few years you're going to get that boost is like in countries like sort of in the UK, making that jump where sort of your local car dealer might be going, oh wait,
Actually, that
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
All those 12-year-olds playing Fortnite at the moment, they're going to be looking for a car in a couple of years' time. Who are they going to see?
Yes.
And and that's the thing, is that's where they should be marketed.
I mean, we can all sit here quite safely and say that at some point in the last 2 weeks, someone's turned around and said to you, "God, do you see that kid win 3 million on Fortnite?"
Yeah, you see it all the time. I've had people come up to me at work and just ask to say, I'll explain what I do. And they've just said, oh, like Fortnite and all that. And it's pretty much the one thing, if you thought about esports, like especially pretty much any generation now who reads the news, is they'll understand Fortnite, like the events, and then they'll start to understand more about the industry, which, to be fair, if just general people like, from all backgrounds and all ages, they can just start understanding stuff like that. It's great for the industry because it puts more focus on the industry.
I mean, I did a lot of stage casting work for a company called Fraggers. They do the easiest way to put it. Yeah, they work a lot with like they work a lot with Resonate, Rapture, that kind of stuff.
They do a lot of gaming buses and all that kind of stuff at big events.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I did a lot of stage work for them, sort of small stages and bigger stage as well. And the amount of Fortnite stuff that we were doing, for them was just unreal. Getting kids to come up on stage and play games and looking at their parents in the crowd who just have no idea what's going on. Yeah. That was a year ago. You look at it now, the parents know that their kids are playing Fortnite and they potentially could win 3 million. And you're like,
yeah. So I volunteered at I-64 and I was on the Fortnite stand in the expo. And obviously that was where we had, I think it was 7 games a day, 100 kids per game. Yeah. Some of the parents, like, they were watching their kids play and they're seeing them like behind and realizing how good their potential in the game. Mm-hmm. And like some of the kids there, like some of them are obviously not great, these casual players, but then you get some people that really good at the game. So we had some people that would come on multiple times a day to the event, or to our expo area, and they would win our prize, which included a £50 gift card for game and then a HyperX peripheral of their choice. Some people would win, I think one person won 2 keyboards, a headset, and a mouse.
Christ, I'm in the wrong area.
But and then what? £200 worth of gift cards as well. Which I mean, if I could do that from playing Fortnite at Insomnia, that would be amazing. But some of these kids, like the parents as well, they were watching them from behind. I was speaking to some of them, and they before the event they didn't really know the potential because they never really saw them play. They just knew they played it. And then there's people like this who crowded around their kid, while he's watching this playing this game, and they're winning. Yeah. They're actually winning physical items as well. I think it makes them think differently to what like stereotypically they would assume as just them being antisocial and playing the same game all the time. So it is amazing to see stuff like Fortnite and then parents now more realizing the potential of the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's called? I just checked the video, but I can't remember if the stuff is sort of stream worthy. Yeah, a guy messaged me today. I think it was. Oh, it might be yesterday. I'm Smami. I don't know how to pronounce his name. So he's just got into the quarterfinals on Fortnite, and then hopefully if they get into the sort of finals, and if the top 8, I think, in the quarterfinals go into like the championship series. So he sent me through his YouTube.
I'm probably saying I'm Sammy or something that means or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he was sending me through his stuff, and yeah, that's quite good. So hopefully, I know Shades was quite close to getting into the sort of quite high up, getting through as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we can, because I think it was 8 UK players, but I don't think it was any Welsh. So it'd be interesting to see if we can get a Welsh guy in the next one.
Oh yeah, be great.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, definitely.
Just go back a little bit, obviously, since I've got actually some about to sponsorships in esports. Because obviously a lot of its changes gone from the stereotypical stuff like just G Fuel, Scuff Gaming, and other different gaming related brands from sponsoring esports teams. Stuff like you got San Miguel, obviously you've got Jack Jones for apparel. You've got Mercedes-Benz and Pringles, who both sponsor ESL1. You've got BMW that's sponsoring League of Legends Championships. I think it's that. And then outside of the Europe, you've got Chipotle and Optic. Got T-Mobile supporting loads of teams, and Gillette, and a lot of time there's a lot of betting companies now getting onto the scene as well, because you lot have seen, like, if you check places like Hitmarket Jobs, you can start to see more places like Betway, Bet365, Unibet now starting to sponsor the industry.
Yeah, and I think NIP kind of broke the mold with that sort of stuff, and they were like, we're going to get, I think it's Betway that was sponsored them, isn't it?
Yes,
Am I right?
Betway, yeah.
Yeah, they were the first ones to really go with a betting company to get a sponsorship with them. So places like, other betting avenues, not that betting's good, obviously, don't do it, it's terrible. But yeah, if you look at the kind of revenue that they can fetch into the market for it, it's unbelievable the amount of money they can flood into it. Like, it's just crazy amount of money.
Yeah, I was surprised looking at this, the report with the viewers. The hours watched is League, as League of Legends. I was surprised that's up there as the main one. But,
again, it's the Pan-Asian countries, man. Yeah. League is humongous out in like Korea, Japan, China. It's such a huge number of people to watch that content.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say something?
It's huge that we're actually getting to see this growth coming out of the industry now. Like, and I hope it only escalates further. And it's only going to be good for the people in this industry, like ourselves, like all the different people that are taking part in it, because to make esports a thing, there's so many different people involved, and to actually see something coming of it, and actually the growth of slowly but surely coming is an amazing thing to see, and a great feeling. And it's just great. But in my personal honesty, what were you about to say, John? Before I cut you off, sorry.
Oh no, I was just pretty much just saying the same sort of thing. I was saying, like, with in regards to the sponsorships and stuff, like, the way it's going to build up just is great for us, and hopefully as we sort of move forward, esports will grow as well, and we can sort of take advantage of some of the opportunities, which I think probably not the betting sites, but some of the other ones we could definitely.
Because obviously the betting side, you've also got the ethicality about betting, especially since video games, a lot of child-based. So we've got Overwatch and all that. Yeah. 12 plus Fortnite, which I think is a 7+. If you start throwing betting companies into the mix, you can send mixed messages towards children. So some sponsors such as G2A, they're okay, I suppose. But like mainly like Jack Jones and Pringles and all that, I'd say they're better than something like a betting company. Obviously, with any sponsorship in any situation, it's going to have kids are going to be taking note of it. So That's why you don't really see too much better like tobacco companies doing sponsorships anymore, really. But
I wish though.
yeah,
Make my life a
but
lot easier. No,
but yeah, it's
I think the thing with the betting stuff and like people don't want to jump in too deep with it because they don't want to fall foul of other people's mistakes.
yeah.
There's been a lot of content creators out there, not to name and shame, not to say specifics, but CS:GO skins, the apocalypse that came after websites like that and what they were doing and how they were doing it. People are very wary about jumping in. Like I myself, I was sponsored by a skin company for a while when I was doing YouTube stuff mainly, rather than like the Twitch stuff, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, it was class. But at the same time, I'd never want to go back into it, knowing how it now works in the background. If that makes any sense to you guys.
Yeah.
We've discussed it before in a few live streams ago, because it was brought up by Rage Darling about loot crates and their aspect of gambling in games as well. So obviously now countries like Belgium have obviously banned loot crates and stuff from games, which is now forcing developers to think differently. And now a lot of games they've gone from having one game that comes to mind is Advanced Warfare, where when they introduced their supply crates, they would have weapons that would give a competitive advantage, which is basically then turn the game from anyone can win to a pay to win kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's gone a lot better for now. So pretty much all cases they only contain cosmetic loot. But
yeah, there's a fine line. There's a really fine line, and I think that like the more annoying thing about it more than anything is that it limits what people can purchase and it limits what people can actually do with the skin anyway, but it also limits a lot of creators out there that are making those skins. Like I have a friend of mine, I think he's in Esports Wales with you guys, Fox. He, like, the last 2 or 3 days, I'm gonna end up muting him on Twitter, I think, to be honest, because that's all he's been doing is banging out like different skins for different esports teams in PUBG. People like him who are putting their hard work and time and effort into making that logo, making those skins for them. But then for it to get turned into a money-making enterprise for some bigger corporation, it's not cool. There needs to be a lot more regulations involved, I feel, with that sort of stuff. But I completely agree. The loot box is the loot box side of things is just a facade for people to spend more money on a game, which is why I don't really play all that much from EA as much as I used to. Like I used to be a massive Battlefield player. I don't touch it anymore.
Yeah. To be fair, I think with regulation and stuff that comes as the industry evolves, especially.
We were actually talking about it last week in regards to microtransactions and stuff like that and loot crates, so to say. We actually did have a topic on it last week because the big developers, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo have all agreed that any games moving forward from a certain point, I think they have to work out all the logistics of it. They all have to have the percentages of the loot drops potential. So on any crate within any game, so that's going to make a huge impact on the actual loot crate industry as a whole.
Yeah, definitely, because it'll stop people from who, let's say, there's like a really nice skin in like a CS:GO crate. It stops them from spending that money if there's only like a 0.1% chance of happening, and then the skin that's worth less than what you paid is like 99%.
Yeah. Take me back to the Minecraft days, boys, when it was so simple.
I still haven't played it.
Have you what? Oh my god!
Okay, no.
We have to make John play Minecraft at I-65.
Exactly. I'm about to say the exact same thing.
And make it a spectacle stream. But I think that's a good ending point there. There was quite a lot of good points made there. Yeah, but all in all, esports industry growth is absolutely huge, and it's going to continue to grow. It's not going to slow down anytime soon. There's going to be new games coming out that are just going to push that growth even further. So yeah, I think we're going to move on to the next topic, and the next topic is actually what's happening next weekend, which is Insomnia 65. Everyone here is attending. We're all very excited, to say the least. But yeah, the main thing that's happening esports-wise at Insomnia is we have 5 Burlong Arena Clash finals taking place. One of our own Shades players was playing for the Cardiff Saints. Sadly, they got knocked out in the semi-finals to Preston. Long Preston?
No, it wasn't Preston.
Who was it that won it last year? Or it was Preston.
No, it wasn't Preston. I'm not sure it was Manchester. Maybe?
No, it's not Manchester. Either way, I'm trash. But yeah, he got knocked out in the semi-finals along with the Cardiff Saints, so they will not be attending Insomnia 65. But
doesn't mean the players won't be attending as the away.
Yeah, Shades will be.
Exactly.
They won't be attending as a team to play. So.
Yeah.
So on the Friday morning, we have the FIFA 19 Belong Arena Clash finals, followed by League of Legends on the Friday afternoon.
Which will go on to 2 a.m. like it did last event.
Saturday, we see the Rocket League final in the morning with the Overwatch Arena Clash final in the afternoon, which hopefully we should be having a little bit of an Esports Wales meet up to watch that, because I know a lot of people are very interested to see how that plays out. And then on the evening of the Saturday, we have the Mortal Kombat finals. But alongside the actual Belong Arena Clash finals, we have the Insomnia Masters finals taking place, which anyone who actually attends I-65 in the BYOC section can enter. So you can get some mates together, you can enter into one of the tournaments, and you never know, you could end up on the stage on across the weekend. So the first final that takes place of the Insomnia Masters is on Saturday night, and it's the Rocket League final. I might stop by to watch that because I'm a big fan of Rocket League.
I enjoyed I watched the Rocket League one. Not.
I don't think I've ever been able to keep up with the Rocket League game. I will be honest.
It's one of the easiest esports to watch.
No,
Basically football.
I know. I get it's basically football. I do get it, but it's just the fact that there's a guy driving around a car and he headbutts a ball, and I'm like, I haven't got a clue what's going on anymore now.
It's the same with me. It's the same with me in any MOBA game. I just can't follow what's going on. There's just too much going on in one area, and it just goes over my head. It's the one genre I've never gone into.
But yeah, following the Rocket League final on the Saturday night, we have Sunday morning is the Overwatch final of the Insomnia Masters. Probably a few people that I know are taking part in that. League of Legends final is in the early
just
afternoon.
before, it was the Spartans.
Spartans. Where are they based?
Oh, you're asking me stuff I don't know.
Belong Spartans.
Yeah, I thought it was Preston.
I think they are, and I am googling it right now as we speak.
Stratford.
Stratford. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was going to say, because I know the Vikings is York, because my buddies runs the Vikings.
Yeah, I know some people in the Vikings.
Yeah.
Where was I up to? Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Yeah, and then followed by League of Legends is in the early afternoon of the Sunday, and then in the evening is almost the spectacle of what is Summer Insomnia, and that is the Team Fortress 2 final. I know teams travel from across the world to take part in that, as it's
crazy massive.
It's one of the biggest in Team Fortress 2 finals, tournaments that actually takes place these days. So
yeah,
it's absolutely huge when it happens, and it's always the Summer I series. So if you're interested, stop by next year, and you might be able to take part. And then
it still spins me out with Team Fortress 2, like the fact that it's how old now, and it's still
mad. It's still played. There's still tournaments. People are still winning money from it, and but it's crazy. Kind of the same about CS, because CS has been around since Source and 1.6.
Yeah, true. So, I'll give you that one.
Although the games have been remade, so to say, it's still around. It's still played. It's still huge money in it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, as obviously if you go onto the website, it tells you all the prize pools, because Insomnia Masters, the prize pool depends on the amount of people playing. But even for Team Fortress 2, if there's the 40 teams taking part, that's £7,500 on the line.
Jeez.
The prize pool. And that's just for a super old game. Obviously, games like CS:GO, 64 teams, it's 10 grand that's on the line. And it's insane the amount of money that's just going from people going to attending this event, just doing BOOC. But it is. Especially our Team Fortress 2 is probably the highlight, though, to be honest with you. It's going on it's the one that's got the longest schedule, so.
Oh, it's absolutely huge. It goes on until
it always has a massive crowd as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge.
Because it's usually played right next to the bar, which I always thought it's just people playing community games. And then I went to the bar one night. I'd been drinking for the majority of the day, so bear with me. My memory's fuzzy. But like I finished doing whatever I was doing during the day. I was like, right, I'm chilling out for the rest of the night. I'm gonna go to the bar, have a couple of beers, chill out with the guys, and watch whatever's on the screen. And then we kind of like latched on to a table that were watching TF2, and I was like, are they playing TF2? The guy was like, yeah, it's quite big. I was like, no, it's not. And he went, yeah, it is. Like there's about 75 people, 80 people sitting around watching it, so I would think it's big. And I went, are we all watching it? And he went, yeah. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm watching TF2 then. Okay, and I just sat back and just carried on drinking. I was like, okay.
They're all streamed as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I watched the Rocket League one, and the Rocket League, it was like 2 rows. Like the first 2 rows filled, a couple of tables behind, and you're like, oh, okay, this is big. And then TF2, they just fill everything.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you're like,
it's huge.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's simply because it's one of the biggest TF2 tournaments that happens these days.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
like
the simple
round
reason. And then to close off the show, we have the Insomnia Masters CS:GO finals, which I will be looking forward to watching, hopefully. And that actually moves us on to our next point. Reaper Steve is actually going to be casting, I'm not sure if all, I think that might be impossible, some of the games for the Insomnia Masters tournament. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what it's all about, I guess?
I think we're definitely going to try and cast all. It's probably going to be physically impossible to do. So I'm going to Insomnia with UK CS:GO, where the majority of the BYOC tournament will be casted. I'm going to be casting the CS:GO games for them. At the moment, I'm the only caster that's going with them. It's kind of like a trial, from what I understand from them. They want to see how it works and if they can really feasibly do it again. So I'm being used as a guinea pig, which is great. John knows me from years ago. Like, I am literally the guinea pig of anything with stuff like this, so it tends to be the case. But yeah, essentially I'll be going there. I'll be in Birmingham on Wednesday. I'm going to meet some friends and chill out for a little bit. Thursday, then I go to the event. I'll set myself up. So I'm going to be in BYOC, so I can actually play games when I'm not working. And yeah, I'll be casting as many games as I possibly can get my hands on. As everyone knows, the games for the BOC tournament, they don't have a cut-off, so they can go up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think last event on the Friday, so I represent another community, which is Blackout. We had a team that were playing in the BRC CS:GO tournament, and I think on the Friday, which is the pub quiz, they were there till like 11:30, 11:45, still playing. So it's going to be a busy one for definite.
I got subbed in for, it was either, I think it was last year, or it might have been the year before. I got subbed in for the CS:GO tournament, and I played like 1 or 2 games. And it was like, because I used to play 1.6, I could play like the Dust 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
They give me another map like Mirage or something, and I was just like, I don't know where to go. And they were like, go B, and I'm like, I'm looking around to see where like B is written on the wall. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, we got smashed and knocked out. But yeah, it's definitely a laugh for anyone up there.
Oh, definitely. It's one of those sort of things of like, you don't have to be amazing. You don't have to be the best player in the world. You can just jump in and have some fun. As long as you take it as a game, unless you're going to be trying to go the full end, you're going to have fun either way, kind of thing.
Yeah, some good prizes as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, God, yeah, definitely good prizes, and I think it's the recognition more than anything that you can play games and you can play in esports, and I think that ties a lot into what Belong and yourselves kind of ideals are. It's grassroots. It's all about bringing players up from the ground up, not looking for guys who are quite popular on sort of content creation sites like YouTube and Twitch and whatnot, and then putting them in a position where they can play in esports. It's, this guy plays in his bedroom, 6-7 hours a day to get to where he is, and we're going to put him in a position where he can play properly. And like that's something I'll always stand behind, is like grassroots sort of things, and which is why I wanted to do the BYOC casting, is because it is quintessentially grassroots. That is what it is. It's been good to me, like with the grassroots stuff. I've really enjoyed interacting and representing some nice teams, and like I did Nations Cup this year for the first time, so that was quite nice for PUBG stuff. And yeah, I'll always back grassroots as much as I possibly can, which is why I wanted to do this. But yeah, I've been talking with the organisers from UK CS:GO. I think we're all set, I hope, at least anyway. Yeah, I'm going to meet them on Thursday, and then I think it's kind of Friday onwards, just work continuously. So Thursday will be the only day that I'll get a chance to probably have a beer. It's going to be my first insomnia that I attend where I don't end up drinking for 5 days straight. So I should come back and lost weight, if I'm honest with you. That's it'll be great if that is the case. But yeah, I think it's going to be a busy one. It's going to be good though. I'm really looking forward to it. Like it's a culmination of the last sort of 6 to 8 months worth of work that I've been putting in to try and get to this point, and it also gives me a good chance to get a cast reel.
Yeah.
One thing to put up is will everyone who's watching or catch the streamed games?
So it's going to be streamed live on UK CS:GO. I'll give you the link in a second.
Is it just UK CS:GO?
Yeah, UK CS:GO's main sort of page. Oh, there you go. Yeah. They will be casting it there, or I'll be casting it there for them. Like I said, we're going to try and do as many games as we possibly can. How many games we'll be able to cover over the weekend, I don't really know. But the way I'll probably end up doing it is when I meet with them, we'll discuss a game plan, we'll get a schedule put together, and then I'll start banging out on my Twitter for myself, and they'll probably put up on their Twitter as well. And their website's continuously active. They post, bulletins continuously on there about what's happening in UK CS:GO, as a wide sort of variety of like topics. So, I'm sure they'll keep everyone updated, and I'll try my best to keep everyone updated as I go along as well. So I'll post that in Discord if you guys are all right with that.
Yeah.
Happy to.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm sure some people will be interested. Like, there's loads of people who enjoy the CS:GO stuff, and I'm sure people will be interested in watching anyway.
I'll definitely be tuning into a few of them because
yeah.
As John and Alex know, I actually did cast a little bit of CS:GO not too long ago myself, and the organisers of that league really wanted me to come back this season, but sadly due to work and other commitments, I cannot, which I'm very sad about. But we'll see how it goes in the future. They've told me about a little spicy gig that they've got coming up, so that'll be very fun to see what goes on.
Fun.
The
picture of me is not the best. I want to see what
it's really not.
I want to see what this picture is. Let's pull it up on the stream.
John, you'll recognise that.
Oh, I've seen that picture.
I mean, I recognise the hat definitely as well.
John, was that you were there? That it was Skynet.
Yeah.
It was Skynet.
That's my dragon in the background.
Yeah, I was going to say
your dragon. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So me
that's
and
the
John
Welsh woman.
back. Yes, Welsh woman took that one. Yeah. It was I plagiarized it for about 6 months on Twitter, and then realized that she was following me, and she sent me a DM and going, "That's a really nice profile picture." That is. I was like, "Oh no, I forgot to credit her. I'm really sorry."
No.
This is the credit. Apologies, all that kind of stuff. But she was like really cool about it anyway.
Yeah,
but
so cool.
yeah, she's sound Becky. I really like Becky. Like whenever I meet up with her, like if I bump into her at an event or whatever, she's always got time to chat, which is great. But yeah, I was like sitting there for like 6 months going like, this profile picture's sick, man. It's great. And then I realized like, oh, actually I've not credited her. This was like early days of me doing any kind of content creation, which was
that would be like 2 years ago.
2 years, yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was before all the PUBG stuff, before traveling and God knows what else, and God knows how many beers and how many whiskies and everything else drunk in different countries, which is great.
It's either way. What you're going to be doing with UK CS:GO is going to be absolutely great to watch and very interesting, certainly, to see what sort of grassroots teams are going to be taking part in Insomnia 65. So if you do want to be up to date with everything that is going to be happening regarding UK CS:GO, both Reaper Steve's and UK CS:GO's Twitters are both linked in chat right now. So
thank you very much.
Drop them a follow, let them all know that you're very interested to see what's going on soon. So moving on to our next point this week, again, Overwatch AHC. John, if you want to a quick chat about what went on.
Well, shall I talk about Tan first, and then right? So yeah,
start on a low, end with a high. Yeah, I think that works.
What do you mean? We improved. Yeah, so we played. We had we had a practice, which was alright, and then we played and we got sort of smashed again. But it was some better games, some better comms, and we sort of practicing. So we lost 4-0 to Faster Than Meow, I think it is. We're just in a division which is sort of these guys. Some of them are like sort of not far off.
Bit too high
Masters
for your
and stuff.
SR,
Yeah. And it's just a couple of things, and there's a couple of playing. So we're practicing, we're getting more sort of games together, practicing our comms, and sort of trying to build our team and trying to gel and sort of tweak that. And then on the flip side, Team Ya, who's sort of most people will know the Ked, Waffles, Fuquan, Shades, Nate, and Kabi, and Gujon. Those guys are just flying. They're playing games and they've just got comms like their comms are sort of they're working out stuff and they're just clicking and the games are they're just smashing everyone at the moment.
It's so entertaining to watch. It really is. Like I wasn't casting it. I was observing it for them and streaming it, and I was just some of the stuff they were doing. I'm like, how do your minds think that quickly? Like some of the combos that they came up with was ridiculous.
I think because they've been playing now, this would be some of the guys like third season of AHC. So they've been building up, and like this is the first season which we've broken up, and we had 2 teams enter. And you can see the sort of clicking is sort of happening now, and it's like some of the stuff. I think the guys after they jumped into roll queue and tried some rank stuff, and with the roll queue, I think they've gone something like 16 games undefeated, which is just crazy.
That's nuts for Overwatch as well. That's
it's absolutely huge. And
I think all of them now are masters. I think so they're all sort of.
I think I've seen. I think I've seen a screenshot of that. It's absolutely mad. 17 games undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh bloody hell!
That is absolutely mental, Shades.
That's unheard of. From like again, the grassroots. I don't really have a huge focus on Overwatch. I will say that out loud. Like I play a little bit of it, and that's purely because I like playing as the hamster, wherever the hamster's called.
Absolutely, I agree with you there.
That's literally the only reason. But 17-0. That's even if you look at it from like other games' perspective. No, you don't do that.
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
It just shows us clicking, and I'm looking forward to see sort of where they take it, and hopefully we'll get them in either sort of a division in AHC next season, or get them into some other sort of bigger tournaments.
Oh, definitely.
See how far they can go, really.
Certainly,
a lot of potential.
Well they're performing. Yeah,
there's a lot of potential in that team. A lot of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So D-City Gaming, I think it was. They beat,
D-City Gaming they played. It was a very, very, very good match. Some very good clips came out of it. Some absolutely amazing calls. There was a lovely EMP shatter that came out, and it was just so perfectly timed, and it was so entertaining to watch.
I think it was a sleep as well. I seen a clip of someone do like mid-air sleep. Probably Ked it was, and that was quite nice.
So if you do want to watch, John, I don't know whether you've looked into it, but I think you need to reschedule your game this week.
Yeah, it's not going to be the Thursday, but I need to just check when.
Oh, do you from the LAN hole?
That's what John's going to have to do.
Yeah, do it. That's fine. That's fun.
We've all done it. I mean, like last August we did an ESL Challenger Cup. I think it was a Challenger Cup for PUBG from the LAN hole. 2 out of the 4 guys in the team were in the LAN hole, so we just basically put our drinks aside. First and foremost, like, right, no more alcohol for a little bit. And then we had the other 2 guys who were like on comms with us, and we tried to breeze through it as best we could. But yeah, I'll take it back. Don't do it from LAN hole. It's way too noisy. You can't focus.
Got no choice.
Well, to be honest, we'll have to see if people can't make it other days. We'll do it from the LAN hole and see how we get on.
Yeah, just make sure you got the noise cancelling headphones in there, because it does get really rowdy.
Yes, indeed.
Especially at night.
I tend to wear in-ears and then put my this headset's one of my more favorite kind of over years. Yeah. But I'll put in-ears on as well as this on top to kind of cover a bit of the noise.
Bit what they do at like proper like tournaments as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully that game will be streamed. We'll have to find out what goes on. I might just observe it and jump into the comms like I did for Team ER. So if you do want to stick around and watch that when it happens, make sure you keep a check on our socials, which are all in chat right now. Our Discord link, Twitter will be the easiest place most likely because a lot of stuff gets lost in the Discord quite quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so as usual, we do have our lovely merch on sale.
As I'm showing off right now.
Well, it can't be seen, but I'll switch back to you just so it can be seen. Now it can be seen. The lovely Esports Wales polo shirt. So yeah, all lovely merch is on sale. All sorts of different stuff. Link is in chat if you do want to go and purchase some. It's all decent. It's all very well made, high quality. The jersey that I have got is absolutely stunning. And so on top of that, I think I
am very tempted by a jersey. Not
the
gonna lie.
jerseys are beautiful.
They
are so comfortable as well.
I need to add to my collection of esports jerseys as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's probably going to be on. Like, I wish I didn't spend as much money as I do on esports stuff, but I kind of like that. In all fairness,
I mean, you promote just supporting the industry that way. You put more revenue into it. So.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's helping grassroots. That's
right. Continue to do the news will boost that number from 1.8 to 1.9 billion in 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so as a lot of you know who watch the show on a weekly basis, we have had a giveaway running to celebrate our merch store going live, and I actually finished on Friday night or last night. I can't remember which.
Yeah, it was Friday the 16th. So yes. I done the roll Friday the 16th, and then made sure I could contact the person. And the person responded and stuff. So yeah, I can announce who won it. So it was, if I got the thing, Gabriella Middleton. She was a winner, and I've been in contact, and yep, she's come back, and it's in the post, esports jersey, so that's been sent out now. It's all been purchased and gone. So yeah, hopefully.
Oh, she's actually in chat.
Anari. Oh, there you go.
Well done. Congrats to you.
Yeah. So you've got your gamer tag on the back, and yep, you should have that. Well, as soon as Gamers Apparel posted to you.
Out of 2,181 entries, you won. Very well done.
Yeah.
You didn't do much, but you entered. That's all that matters. That's all you needed to do. So,
exactly.
A very beautiful Esports Wales jersey will be making its way to you, hopefully, very shortly.
Yeah, you need a tweet. Drop us a tweet or something, or drop a photo or something in Discord when it arrives.
Yeah, you got to do that now. No bailing out.
Yeah, so unlucky to everybody else that did enter and sadly didn't win, but I'm sure we'll have some more plans in the future to do some more giveaways. I know we've got a few things that we've discussed previously to hopefully get some more going, hopefully in the future, not too far away. So yeah, that's about it for what we've actually had to discuss. If there is any more questions in the chat that anybody would like to ask us, a singular member or the entire panel, go ahead and do so. We're open to take some more before we finish up the show, but this one comes in from Spiderwolf1789. Which company, this is esports, which company do you want to partner with in the future? This is talking about Esports Wales.
I guess that's to me then, is it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess it's all of us because we'll all have our own opinions, I guess.
Yeah, you know.
Well, maybe not so much Steve, because obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for any company, obviously. Hit me up. DMs are open.
Go ahead then, John. You kick it off.
It could be a local car sales.
Oh mate, yeah, Dave from Days. Get him on the phone. Let's get this worked out. I could do with a new car to take me to land.
Who's the guy off Trade Centre Wales? And they're on the radio.
Tell him Bryn sent you, innit?
Yeah, tell him Bryn sent you.
Is it Bryn? I'm Googling it.
I think I recognise that. So.
Yeah. It's on all the time. So in regards to mine, I don't think there is any particular sponsor which I can sort of say like, oh, yes and no. It's kind of like, I guess, anyone, but then in regards to, there would be some sort of, like, we'd have to view it as a point of, we don't want to, like, probably not gambling companies. and some sort of like ethically we'll
Considering how we work with like universities to college levels and all
yeah.
that, betting companies would be out the window.
Yeah, so ethically we'd have to sort of judge it, but in regards to sort of other things like, who does Wales have sponsor them? Principality, but they can hit us. Admiral.
A company I'm related to
Yeah.
sponsors them.
I mean, it'd be nice get a Go Compare man to come sponsor us as well, because he's Welsh. He's meant to be Welsh. Get him on board.
Yeah.
Get him wearing the jersey.
We get a couple of those down, and so I think it's open to anyone. But if anyone wants to be in touch, sort of our look for things, I'm sure they could drop us an email and we can have a conversation.
The game is definitely changing as far as stuff like that's concerned anyway, because I remember, a couple of years back when I was still doing the CS stuff for YouTube and doing editing work for YouTubers, you had to have like a stream, like a sponsorship deck. You have to have like a business model, a business plan to go through with them. Nowadays it can be done just by DMing on Twitter and just having a conversation with someone and saying, look, this is an idea I've got. Are you interested? And go from there. Yeah. So the game is definitely changing as far as trying to get people. But I'd say gambling sites stay clear. If I was going to give any advice, that would be the advice I would give. Having learned from my own mistakes and other people's as well.
Alex, or any that you'd like to see us potentially partnered with in the future?
Apart from the Go Compare man, because if anyone can pronounce Llapopglyph, then they are instantly in my good books. But
what John said.
As demonstrated there. But to be fair, as long as I'd say main one to avoid really betting companies, but any brand that can offer stuff or can offer us any good incentives and can help promote esports in Wales at all levels. So anyone, basically one that's not really restricted to age, so not alcohol either or anything like that. So they can help us do.
I don't know. I'd be happy with Padarian whiskey.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe Welsh
Padarian whiskey would be right with that as well. Actually,
they can send us a few bottles. So while we're sitting here on Esports Weekly,
just have a sip.
Just do a taste test
as well,
once a week.
Just have one in the background. Everyone just have one in the background and just make sure the blurred background has a focus on it.
For me personally, again, there's not really any particular company, just anything that will help us grow and push the grassroots scene within Wales, because that's what we're all about here at Esports Wales. We are already partnered with Special Effect and Unquarai. Unquarai are a Welsh. I don't really know much about Unquarai, John.
So they deliver sort of the medium of Welsh through gaming. So they sort of getting people involved with the Welsh language and promoting the Welsh language through gaming. So it's in regards to sort of streaming it and getting people chatting in Welsh. And sort of we had a few games with them where they've got sort of some of our Welsh speakers playing and commentating in Welsh and speaking to each other in Welsh. And it's good for the Welsh language, and it's good to see sort of using it's good for gaming as well. So it's getting people talking, and it's getting people talking in Welsh, which is it's great.
Well, we've also done little bits of the Welsh language, but their primary focus is on the Welsh language. They won't really use English at all. They focus on it because we've done the Rocket League stream a while back now, really. But obviously we want to put a focus on it. But they're pretty much the main driving force for Welsh and gaming.
I think they'll be on Esports Weekly in a couple of weeks.
Yep, hopefully.
Ooh.
We're in talks of getting that in place. So
we're having a Welsh stream, are we then?
Well, I don't know.
John
there may
can
be a
have a
few
conversation.
That'll be the stream though. I'll sit there and be like, can we have
English subtitles?
TV,
I'll work on getting
TV
English
thing, you hit the subtitles button. Just hit the subtitles button on Twitch and just hope for the best.
Well, as well as Special Effect, who are an amazing charity that we're very happy to be our initial charity partner. So
exactly. Yeah,
I'm obviously happy to open up partner to more charities down the line, but as for now, that's all we have, and I'm sure more will come along the line, all along words. English.
Definitely one of the charities I want to do some work with as well.
They're great. They're so great.
Special Effect. We've obviously we not longer we had the Chickens for Charity 2 tournament, which Jake and I and Bager and Boone we all took part in, and overall we actually came fourth out of
Talking
what
of that,
20.
I've got my Kylo Hen
companies.
pin right
I
here.
was literally just about to grab mine's on my backpack, ready for insomnia,
Come on.
We missed. I missed out on Chickens for Charity. I had I had to travel the next morning.
Oh,
And
no.
we had two of the other guys that one of our players has moved to Canada to live. So his time zone differences are just too much on a Friday for us to play. But I was a little bit devastated about that. I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to get involved and jump in for Chicken for Charity. But I've got I've been emailing them back and forward, and we're gonna try and arrange something so that we can help out with something else maybe.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
Definitely a good charity to.
Oh yeah, it's huge,
with.
so great. But yeah, we'll be taking a part in hopefully Chickens for Charity 3 next year because they're hoping to turn it into an annual event. So
be pretty nice to see it. It was a load of fun.
Esports Wales will be going for the #1 spot next year, though.
Well, if you need a player,
very confident.
Yeah.
If you need a player to tag in, I'm more than happy to help out if you guys need one.
I'll certainly keep that in mind if anyone wants to step down from the current team. Yeah, this question comes from. Wait, does anyone else have anything else on that subject? Quickly. No. Okay. This one comes from Ginny, who's been a long time friend of mine and also of Esports Wales.
I happen to have her monitor in the background, which you probably can't see, which I'm bringing for insomnia because she doesn't want to bring a TV. But...
Okay. This is aimed towards SlayerJohn. What's the best part about owning / running Esports Wales?
People calling you short.
Right, we'll get a. I'm bringing a tape measure this time, okay? Okay.
I'm not that short, but yeah, that's when Ginny she sort of was like, "Oh, I thought you was taller than this," and that's the sort of thing that. But no, I think the great thing about it is sort of getting involved and sort of meeting like the amount of people you do through esports. Like a lot of the sort of gaming stuff I do is sort of community related. A lot of the sort of games I play is also sort of social related. I guess it's always sort of co-ops or sort of player sort of some sort of co-op games or player v player games and that sort of stuff. So that's the sort of I think the good things about doing it. Some of the drawbacks, I guess, is like the time and stuff you've got to put into it. I wouldn't really say I'm owner or owning, I guess. I don't even know if I say I'm running, but it's kind of I'm just sort of pushing it forward. I see that's the sort of yeah, she said, what? You know where you're taller than me. But yeah, I would say
as a person who knows Ginny and as a person who knows John, I'm gonna have to side with John on that one. You're definitely not taller than John. I'm just, I don't like to step into the middle of these domestics and all that kind of stuff. That's not my place. But I'm backing John on that one. If I'm honest,
I must admit, if you put me and Jake behind John, we look like bodyguards. To be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in regards to that sort of stuff. It's like I would say it's just the social side, which is the best thing about it is having that sort of meeting the amount of people you meet, the amount of events you get to go to, and sort of building that sort of relationship with people is awesome. And it's awesome to see like taking like sort of I guess nothing, and then just seeing it sort of come into sort of its life of its own, and then end up having like shows like this, then end up having sort of people sort of go from like just playing on their own to like playing into teams and then like winning tournaments and stuff, and you're just like, seeing that is just awesome. But it's just the beginning, hopefully, and we'll see it go further.
Just over it. Well, not even a year ago, we really started pushing Esports Wales, did we?
No.
About November, we really started pushing and getting things going, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll redirect the question, and sort of what's I'll go to Steve first. What's the best part yourself about getting involved in esports?
It's seeing something again grow from nothing. Like I've been playing in esports for longer than I'd probably like to admit, but I've always had a hand in esports anyway across like the years. I started off playing in Medal of Honor Spearhead, which is probably older than the majority of the people that are in chat. As far as like when it was created, I started playing that at the age of like 14, 15, and then I left for a couple of years, came back into it, started playing CS at esports, and then kind of left a little bit again, came back into PUBG, and now been more prominent at the PUBG side of things in the last 2 years. So it's kind of like looking back over the last 10 or 15 years of trying, and then seeing now like, oh, holy crap, I've played for the nation in PUBG, or I've done ESL, GLL, all the different types of tournaments that I've done, and then I'm sat there going, Christ, I used to sit in my bedroom playing Medal of Honor Spearhead at like 4 o'clock in the morning with American guys to try and get good at it. Yeah. And now I'm able to travel and do what I want to do. So I think it's the growing part of it, which makes it for me, and the fact that like Jenny's really short. I mean that's
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex. What about you? What do you feel is one of the main things about working in esports?
The people always make it as well. I will have to stand by it. No matter what, pretty much any industry as well, it's like that. The people what make it go. Some industries, because I have just finished my job in working retail, and I didn't like the job, but I liked the people. And it's the same in esports. I mean, I like the industry, I like the stuff I do, but the people you meet, like lots of people. It's like so many abilities people have. They're good at communication, so you got casters, but then you've also got people that know how to run stuff and get all stuff organized, and people behind the scenes. It's great because I don't really do so much in front. I did like the last major tournament I played part in was I never really taken part in a major tournament. The real tournament I taken part in was the PUBG tournament, which is a charity one. I always prefer being behind the scenes and seeing the work that gets done there. It's amazing to see what the effort is actually like, because what people usually just see is just a picture. Yeah, it's just the top of the iceberg. The top of the iceberg, because there's just so much that goes into it. For every if you play the one team that takes part, there's hundreds of people in an event but it all led to that point.
Yeah,
you see it in Insomnia, you see it at pretty much any event you go to. It's insane to see it, and knowing that you're part of that and more pushing the way to get all this working, and especially in an industry that's obviously grown from nothing. It's insane. It's amazing.
Yes, so on my front, well, I run the streaming side of things, so I've interacted with so many different people, and like I'm in many different Discords, like always looking for new different ways to make streams better, looking at new technologies, looking at different ways to run things, and it's a learning experience that is it's unreal. It's not like anything I've done before. It's even better than my job, which a lot of people know I really, really enjoy. Like the learning curve that's come with learning how to produce and broadcast esports streams as opposed to just traditional streams it's been so enjoyable to learn how to do everything. Like learning how to do stingers, set up all sorts of different things, and it's so great. But on top of everything everyone else said, meeting people and getting to know people and growing like a community and everything else that comes with it, and seeing the teams grow, seeing the players grow, seeing people grow in themselves. Like esports can majorly help with mental health, but on the flip side, it can also be a detriment. But the majority of it it's a huge thing because it encourages people to start playing together and grow those social bonds and everything like that. And that's one of the things. Well, I basically love everything about esports. Obviously, there's the few little niggles here and there that aren't great, but the majority of esports is just amazing, and I'm so glad that I got into the industry.
Yeah, those little niggles are in every industry, to be honest. Any sporting industry, so football, it's always a little thing. But something I must work on from there, like everybody. It basically has no limits to who can take part. So people who are disabled, people with any learning disabilities, or just anything that could put them off doing something like a traditional sport, they can then go into esports because all it requires them is to be able to have access to a computer and be able to play these games. And even then, people with physical disabilities that may not be able to play with conventional equipment, you bring in one of our charity partner, Special Effect, to do a lot of the work trying to get the controllers for people. That can then bring people in who traditionally probably never would have had a chance to even play games properly. Now you push them towards playing esports, and it's just an insane industry.
I've always said the same thing about this, and it's a bit of a controversial point of view to have on it, but it's a shame that we have to have a charity like Special Effects.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
great. They are unbelievably outstanding in what they do, but it's a shame that we have to have something like that in the first place. The fact that I can go into game tomorrow and buy a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller and it'll cost me 30 quid. But if I had some of the needs that some of the people they support, it will cost me 200-300 quid to get the same thing.
Yep.
That does the same thing. It's a shame that it has to be that way. But yeah, special effects are just like their class, and it's nuts that we have to live in that kind of world where they're required. But at the same time, it's a good thing that there are people like that out there, and like yourselves who are supporting them. To be able to have something like that they can turn to is great.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's amazing.
I think with in regards to sort of the way they've stepped in and sort of filled that void, I think it's a great, and it's like it just shows like all the support for them. It's kind of like what they're doing is sort of beneficial, and it definitely changes people's lives. You only got to watch like one or two of the videos, and you can see sort of how they're changing people's lives. And
it's amazing. It's not just people in the gaming industry. Because when I was at ESI Six Spring Forum in Manchester at the start of the year, I think it was Tom who's one of the main people in Special Effect. He was there, and he basically did a demonstration of what they do outside of gaming. So people with stuff like motor neuron, obviously they use most of their motor abilities. I think it was motor neuron. There's a gentleman who couldn't use computer, he couldn't communicate through social media or anything outside of someone being there. They came along and they introduced him to technology that allowed him to basically continue his online presence while suffering from such an awful disease.
Yeah.
So it is just it's incredible. Like, unfortunately, disabilities and stuff like this can happen. It can be from birth, or it can happen at any point. So it's amazing that the people out there that do or are working towards this and trying to stop that gap or stop people from not being able to do what they want to do.
And I think that about wraps it up for this week's show. Does anyone have any closing thoughts regarding anything we've spoken about this week?
No.
I was going to say thank you very much for having me more than anything from me.
It's great. It's been great to have you, honestly.
Genuinely, I'd like to come back if you guys will have me. I know I've probably talked a little bit more than I that I probably should do, but I'm definitely happy to come back if you guys will have me in the future. Obviously,
definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we can have you on afterwards. You can tell us how casting went.
Oh yeah,
that'd be a great.
If I survive, that would be great.
I was going to say, thanks for having you on, Steve, and a case of hopefully like people in chat and stuff. Looking forward to meeting all of you in Insomnia, the ones who's coming.
Fun fact: if you find any of us staff members, we may have some stickers on hand.
I mean, we will. I've got 600 of them sat on my desk right now. We will have stickers.
I also have some of these as well, but
I need to take a break in between casts to come and find you so I can get a sticker.
Just tell me your seat number. I'll hand deliver one.
There we go. That works for me.
I need one for the back of my laptop as well, JK.
Okay.
Make sure I got one there.
I've got 600. Everyone will get one. Don't worry.
Put one on your forehead as well. Don't worry.
I already got one on my phone case.
Very nice.
Already got one, but the screen's being blurred. But yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Steve. I'm very much looking forward to your casting. Thank you, John. I'm very glad you come on this show every week. It always makes it so much easier for myself. Thank you again, Alex, for joining after what was it? Was it the first week you came on the show?
I came on the first week,
and then you've been off, so you've had like 5 episodes off. So it's great having you back on. Make sure to do stop by if you are at Insomnia. I will have my seat number in my name on Discord, so you can come and always stop by and have a chat. All of our socials will be having live updates on the days, what we're doing, where we'll be, when we're going to be doing the meetup. Make sure to keep track of that, Alex. I'm sure you're working hard on planning that and everything. So
if you're working with Shades, and we're going to now the map's out, it's even better because it's a lot bigger than the last event. So.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much to all of you. Thank you to everyone viewing. everything is in chat that you could possibly want to look at, including our calendar, my weekly spam. And yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have a nice Welsh streamer to host up so you can continue your Welsh viewing. So thank you all once again, and good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Right.